All right. What's going on, everybody? Wilson here, your spiritual hype man. I'm super happy to have one of my great friends on, Victor. Victor, can you just go ahead, Victor? Say what up to everybody.
Victor, Victoriano, real-time
Victoriano.
results, whatever you guys want to do. But yeah, Victor.
Victor, real time results. It's this is a great episode because obviously with nothing changes until you do, we talk about Victor. What we talk about is like life, what life is, right? So in essence, the big picture of things is just an accumulation of situations and then decisions that we make over a long period of time, right? And then from each situation to each situation, there's a decision that we make that then gets us to like another situation, which in result over a long period of time is like our outcome. And so there's been things that like I've worked through, and I've been able to just figure out like we need to go back and just figure out what are these things, what's driving these thoughts, emotions, and then these actions and these moments, and then how do we like change them for like the betterment of ourselves and then the people around us. And so it's an honor because I met you not even almost 2 years ago, not even a full 2 years, I think, right?
Yeah, it's been a minute. I think it's a little over a year.
A little over a year, so it hasn't been
Yeah,
like
yeah.
2 years yet. But we vibe, man. Like as soon as I met you, like you're a great soul, great human being to talk to. Will you take me a little bit of just what were you doing at the time? How do we meet? Where were you at in that moment? And then we can go from there.
All right. Yeah. So the first time we met was uh Travis Chambers put on that men's retreat,
That's right.
and he
Shout out to
invited me
Travis.
to come out and cut hair at this event and kind of be a part of the men's retreat. That's where we locked in, and it
Yeah.
was great. It was great for me. Where I was at during my life was, man, I think I was two, no, has it been? Yeah, I was 2 years out of prison at
Damn.
the
Yeah.
time. And
Yeah.
it's just crazy how much what I'm doing right now for my business has put me into different situations and linked me with different people. So yeah, I was at that men's retreat, man.
Yeah, and that's how we got connected, and we talked about that, which again was a story in of itself, in terms of where you were, where you are, and what you're doing. And how did you meet Travis, and how did that come about in terms of like coming and hanging out? Like, what are all
So
these situations?
yeah, so I met Braden, and then I had
Shout out to
seen
Braden.
Travis
Yeah, shout out to the
on
homie.
Chambers
Chain
Media,
Media.
and I'm
Yeah,
seeing him do content, and I'm like looking at his hair. I'm like, I could help him with that. I could help him with that. So me, I was tagging him. I kept tagging him, got his
awesome.
attention.
Yeah,
And then out the blue, he's like, hey, you know what? I want you to come and tattoo my head in my garage. And I don't leave my office for a lot of people. You know what I mean? I'm in the
yeah,
comfort of my own
yeah.
spot. My lighting's right. My seating's good. All my stuff's here. I took it as an opportunity, and I packed up, and I got to Travis's, and we did his S&P in his garage, and the
Yeah.
setup was crazy because he had a octagon in his garage.
Right, right. I seen those.
So I set up the massage chair. We got to work, and I was fighting hair loss in an octagon. It was pretty
That's
cool.
awesome, dude. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's great. So that's how you guys connected. And then since that, what have you been up to now? Like, and because I've seen the growth too. I've obviously followed and seen what you've done through Instagram. Super proud that like to see it, man. Since we met, and then what was that trajectory like? What are you up to now?
Man, there's a lot. There's a
Yeah.
lot. It's kind of scary because I feel like looking back on how much I've accomplished within even the last 3 years of me being out of prison, if I would have set, if I 3 years ago, if I would have set goals, hey, my first year, this is what I want to accomplish, I probably would have set myself up for not achieving the most.
Mm-mm.
Um,
Why do you think that is?
I don't know. I don't know. I feel like you kind of put a cap. You put a cap on your goals, and I feel like it's human nature just to achieve that and be
Mm,
content and cool.
mm.
And but when you live, it's another thing that you could do to take limits off things, right?
Right,
Stop, just keep going. Don't stop. You know what I
right,
mean? If I'm working out, I that's why I feel some type of way about counting sets or reps in sets. I'm like,
right.
all right, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. If I could have made it to 10, what the problem is.
Yeah,
I'm gonna keep going.
keep going,
So
right?
same concept for the goals that I've been doing.
And I,
Um,
I feel like that sometimes internally, like lots of people, however they see it or however they like they would, vocabularize it, if that's even a real
yeah,
word, is how they would, I think we all go through that where there's like almost a cap where you don't think that you can potentially ever possibly get to this level of like whatever it is, whether it's emotional,
yeah.
physical, financial, etc. When was that like? Did you reflect on that? Was that something that you worked through? How did you work through that to like now see yourself that like there is no limit for me, like this is what I can do?
So I've done a lot of self discovery within this time of me being out, and a lot of it. Okay, so kind of let's back step all the way 3 months prior to me getting out of prison, right? They took COVID lockdown off. I got 10 years in and out of the prison system, right?
Damn.
So I was locked up during COVID lockdown. They took off the restrictions, and we were able to start going into the gym to work out. And I remember going in and I'm working out, right? And I'm in the gym getting my sets in, and politically a lot of things started happening once the floodgates opened up in prison, right?
Mm,
And what I mean by that is there was names on papers, and people started getting got. And I just remember being in that situation, working out. Somebody got, and there was three guys on this guy,
yeah.
and it was graphic. It was graphic. There was blood. They were stomping him out. They beat him up for like 15 minutes, right? And I looked back at that situation, and I was so calm. I was calm in the midst of chaos. I was
Right.
calm. I knew something was wrong. I knew something wrong. I did have no physical responses at all. No sweaty palms.
Right.
No increase in heart rate. I
Right.
was just working out. I was working out, and I get out of prison. I top out, and now I'm looking at this whole situation different because now I topped out of prison. I didn't want nothing to do with prison. I couldn't blame anybody else too for me going back. I couldn't blame the parole
Right.
office, the system.
Right.
Um, it was all on me. If I failed this time coming out of prison, it was going to be my own fault, right?
Right.
So I feel like once you start taking accountability, you start moving a little different. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
you're in control of that, right? So fast forward, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I just knew I didn't want to go back, and I didn't want anything that reminded me of prison.
Right.
And I got my CDL driving truck when I was in prison, but my driving truck reminded me too much of being locked up,
Damn. Right. Right.
confined area, away from home, always on the phone. It just, I didn't want nothing to do with it.
That's
And I
crazy.
remember sitting in my barber's chair, and I was talking. You're the person that you talk to the most in very, very in depth conversations is your barber.
Yeah.
And I was talking to him. I'm like, yeah, man, I just don't know what to do. And he's been a friend for a long time. And he's like, why don't you cut hair? Get into it. You might like it. You know what I mean? And if anything, I can say I got over 20 nieces and nephews, and all my nephews need haircuts.
Yeah. Oh, they all need haircuts. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, yeah. So I could have helped out there, you know what I mean? And I ended up deciding to go into I signed up for the barber program at Paul Mitchell in
Oh.
Nampa. And my first day, I was nervous. I didn't know, like, I wasn't set. I had doubt all the way up until that morning. So what they do is your first day you walk in, and you got people, just strangers on either side of you, all the
Yeah.
way into the meeting room, and they start cheering and clapping for you, right? And I'm walking through this clapping, and by the time I make it to this room, I'm
Yeah.
noticing my heart is racing, my
Yeah.
sweating pump, my
Yeah.
face is flushed,
Yeah.
and I'm like, what the hell's going on, right? And I got into that room, and I looked at all the other new starts that started with me, and
Yeah.
they felt the same way. They felt the same thing that I was feeling, and I instantly thought back about that situation
Right. Yeah.
in prison, walking on a tier and not even feeling no, like, it was so normal to me. Walking with
Right.
killers, gang members, uh, that was normal for me,
Right,
right?
right,
So
right.
for the beauty industry to bring out this fear of growth, this
Yeah.
fear of change, this positive, I invested everything into it. And yeah,
Damn,
the school
dude.
brought out a lot into me, or a lot for me. It was
Yeah,
cool.
what a feeling, right? So that like it's a total difference between what you were feeling, not feeling, and then what you felt with some like a community, right? Like a community behind you or some sort of positive energy in terms of like pushing you forward, huh?
Yeah,
Damn,
yeah.
dude.
And I feel like I say us because I do feel like everybody's equal at some point, and they're very similar, right? And I feel like we do use things as excuses not to get to that next level, and it's
Mm,
so easy to make up, or to, oh, hey, play the victim, or hey, I would have been over here if it wasn't for this situation. It's an
right.
easy way out, right?
Yeah.
Instead of taking accountability.
Yeah,
So
exactly. From that day, from the day you identify it and you don't do something about it, then it becomes something where you're at fault. Like, you know what I mean? Like
yeah.
you got to take that accountability for sure to keep moving forward and keep doing it. So how did all right, so can we talk a little like what was your influence growing up? How did you get yourself into like 10 years in the system? What was that? And then what led to that change?
All right. So I got 10 years in the prison system since I was 17 years old. Uh, I got involved in gangs early on, like 12, 13. Um,
And that's when like you were growing up in that like
Active, yeah, active.
yeah,
But coming out of prison at 32 years old, I did something a lot of people what we need to do, and we need to do it sooner than later. But I finally took off this mask that I was wearing for so long, and I asked myself, like, who am I? Who am I?
mm,
Why did I go? It's not like it was a cultural thing.
right.
Like, yeah, I had family members be active gang members and go to prison. It was the norm, right? I thought
It was your
I was where I
influence
was supposed to
for sure.
be, right? But my mom never said, son, I want you to be a gang member, and I want you to. So I started having to have some real. Hey, I painted myself
Mm,
to be the biggest, scariest guy. I grew up in a household with nothing but females. I got six sisters, single mom. Uh, I was the protector, right? I
of
was the
course.
bigger guy. I was the protector. There was a lot of drug abuse going on with my mom's ex husbands.
Right.
Um, Again, 32 years old, out of prison, real trying to figure out where I went wrong. And again, I got to be real with myself. There was a sexual abuse situation that happened with my aunt. She
Right.
was climbing into bed with me at like 11 years old,
Damn.
and there were so many thoughts, so much. Do I like it? Do I not like it? This is wrong. I don't want to be here.
Right.
Um, just so much, so many mixed feelings about
And
this whole
and how
situation, and
old?
I didn't have nobody to talk to.
Yeah. And
You
what
know,
age? Like where were you like where were you at that age in terms of like so that way we have some sort of context of like where we are internally with our brain and consciousness and awareness because all these things are well for anybody, right? It doesn't matter what age, but I'm sure at a particular age it's kind of like wow, you go through all of this and how does it affect you every day, right?
well,
Even if you
I've always been older
yeah,
mentally than what I was, just because of what I went
the
through.
things
Right.
you went
Once
through,
you
right?
take innocence out of the equation, once you
Yeah,
start, I'm fighting my sister's dad's
right.
to get off my mom. So there was abuse going on.
You're already going
There
through
was
it.
so I'm survival mode. I'm survival mode, right? So, but that whole situation fucked me up. I couldn't. The physical stuff I could get by. I'm big.
Right.
I could deal
Of
with that.
course. Yeah,
But
yeah.
this sexual situation,
Yeah.
I tried escaping, and I did escape. I escaped to the streets, and I was around the homies, and I ended up getting jumped in, and that's how I entwined myself. And
Mm,
and again, like, there's a whole lot of stuff that
right.
happened because of a sexual abuse situation.
Right.
And again, a lot of things are done out of fear. Like, I've done a lot of time, and I've met a lot of killers, and majority of them, there was fear that had taken place in order for them to get to where they're
To get to
at.
that level. Right, right, right.
Um but for me, it was that situation, man. It was that situation, and I finally ripped off that mask, and I started taking accountability for a lot of the stuff that had happened. I got shot 2 different times. The police are looking at me like I'm a bad guy. Why are they looking at me like I'm a bad guy? Because I'm putting off that energy like I'm a bad guy. So
Right.
I can't be pissed off anymore because that was the energy that I was putting out. You know what I mean? So there's just a lot of things. Again, ownership, accountability. The growth comes from that, man.
Dude, yeah. And so it's the awareness that you have is amazing, right? To be able to like know each situation, or at least be in tune with your own self in those situations. How, what was your first like aha? Like from going from what it was before to where you are now, what was your first thought of like reflection, or like trying to ask yourself? We had mentioned, I guess, that about talking to, really talking to yourself and asking you like, what am I doing, or who am I? Like, what was your aha moment, or in that perspective?
I wouldn't say that there's actually one,
Right.
but it just keeps happening over and over and over
Okay.
again.
Yeah.
And it's
Right.
like, right. Biggest thing for me was like, okay, I was in school, right? That aha moment from dealing with that situation in the gym, and then the
Right.
feelings of walking into this change, you know what I mean? And like that was it for me. That's why
That was it.
I latched on to the beauty industry, and like I've caused a lot of hurt and a lot of destruction, and I can't make up for that, right? I
Yeah.
can't. There's no, hey, I'm
Likewise, man.
sorry, and everything be
Yep.
clear, right?
Yep.
But what I'm doing now with my business, with schooling, with the haircuts, I'm making somebody feel better, them smile and feel good in the skin they're in with a simple haircut, with tattooing hair on them. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
I found my purpose. I found my way to give back. And yeah. But again, back to the question, there's so many different moments, man. I can't, like, they just keep happening. They keep
Right.
happening. And
But
it's about being aware of the
yeah.
whole everything that's going on around you.
Yeah. And I would
So
say, and not but and just that feeling that you get, or the feeling that you have now, like these feelings that you do when you connect with people and you do what you do for people, like that just went, like that feeling is something that I guess when you were young or growing up, or these things were the things that you were actually looking for,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And it just gets you to that level of like continuing to do more and wanting to do more for others, which then builds at which then there's a result from that, right? Like in terms of what you're doing.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah,
now,
no,
yeah, go ahead.
no, go for it.
Well, I
You're
was going
good.
to say, so now, so what's the next, what do you envision yourself moving forward with? And I know like in terms of even family and things like that, like what do you see yourself like in the next couple of years? And when did you get out? Like when was like the day that you
So
left?
I've been out for this last December would be 3 years.
That's crazy,
So
dude.
3 Decembers ago, I ended up getting out. You did ask. Okay, so I've done a lot. Back to your last question, because there's so much I feel like I'm
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah. Right.
not putting out, but spiritual growth is huge, right? So one thing that definitely impacted me. You've heard of ayahuasca?
Yeah.
So I went there.
Did you?
I did ayahuasca, man, and prior to going, I just got out of a relationship. I had a hard time letting go because it was a good relationship, right? But it wasn't a great relationship, and I was holding on to it because it was better than the relationships that I had before
Right.
that revolved around drugs and alcohol and prison. You know what
Right.
I mean? So I had to learn to let that go. Yeah, it was a good thing, but it wasn't a great thing. Is there anything wrong with either one of us? No, but we weren't for each other, right? And
Right.
something that I had to do was let go. And anyway, I get in, I find myself in another relationship, and everything, every piece to the puzzle just makes sense for this relationship to continue.
Fantastic.
And I don't know what ayahuasca kept calling out, whether it's in conversations, whether it's just whatever people,
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
just, it's crazy how it calls out to you, right?
Yeah. Right.
And Have you ever done it first?
Not yet. Like that's my next step for sure. I've done
Okay.
obviously I've gone on a few mushroom trips. I
Yeah.
had an 8 hour trip with mushrooms that really like changed a little bit of my inner workings for sure.
So
I,
if you've started there,
yeah,
you'll definitely you'll know what I mean about navigating
yeah,
during ayahuasca,
yeah,
and I feel like psilocybin helps you with that, right?
yeah,
So why did I do ayahuasca? Because I heard it was a factory reset for your ego.
mm,
I heard there's just so much. They say your program, everything that you do, your personal and business comes from a child's programming, right?
mm.
Ages of 0 to 4 at 50%, you're programmed. Another 3 years, another 80%. At the age of 18, you're programmed at 95%.
Who you're like, what you're gonna be like.
Yeah, and what you do,
Or
right? What you
think,
do as
yeah,
part of your
think and then
business and
make
blah, blah, blah,
decisions. Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah,
So a lot of it's programmed into us. So that factor reset is like huge for me. So I ended up, I just wanted to reset, man. I wanted to, honestly, I was at a good place with my business and everything was going good. But I feel like before that next level up, I got
yeah,
to answer to karma. I got to answer to the things that I wanted to feel the chaos and destruction that I caused my
yeah,
community,
yeah,
people in my life that I love, my daughter, just a whole bunch of people, right? And so I was aiming to go to hell. I was aiming to go to hell
yeah,
to come out a better person, right? And so I'm in. Okay, so ayahuasca, you take it's so many nights. You take 3 cups
yeah.
of ayahuasca, right? The spirit that comes with ayahuasca is called grandmother,
Mm.
and they say grandmother is very knowledgeable, and she is going to give you exactly what you need. And
And you got it. And you got
bro,
it.
the first night, we started at like 8:30,
Yeah,
and I take the 1 cup. I get to 2 cups. I'm feeling it. It's almost like psilocybin, and I'm cool. They're playing instruments. They're singing. The shaman singing, and his helpers are singing beautiful voices.
right.
I find myself in a womb. I'm naked. I'm in a womb, and there's so many lights going on, right? And
Yeah.
and I'm flexing. I'm flexing in this womb. I'm flexing, releasing, and whatever's in this womb, I'm soaking in, right? So I'm like, nope, I can't enjoy this. I got to feel all the chaos and destruction that I was
Yeah.
expecting to feel. Like not a voice, not words, but it was almost like it
A
just
feeling.
talks to you. It
Yeah, yeah,
talk.
yeah,
I
yeah,
don't know
yeah.
how to explain it, but
Yeah, yeah.
it's we're not going to continue that. We're not going to continue that.
Yep.
And for me, that when you're a mean person and somebody is very nice to you after after you treated him a certain type of way, and that hurts, like you don't feel like you deserve it, right?
Right.
So after like this voice or this entity was telling me, hey, like
You're
you're
good.
good, like
Yeah, yeah,
just this is what we're doing.
yeah. I
So I started enjoying it, right? Went back into it probably 30 minutes, maybe an hour later. I'm looking for faces, everybody that's supposed to be around me in my circle and in trust and relationships. I'm
yeah,
seeing their faces clear as day. My ex, I was looking for my ex, and her
yeah.
face was no longer
Was
there.
that
My
there?
daughter that I had, we're just at a bad spot. Like we're still working things out. She's hurt. I've been
Right.
locked up 10 years out of her life. She's 18. She's going
Of
on
course.
18 next month. And it's just not her time. It's not her time
Right.
to forgive me. It's not her
Yep.
time to, she's still hurting, right? So I got to respect that. That's how I took it.
It's great, dude.
Everybody though that I was supposed that was there in my life that were meant something to me, I could see their face clear as day.
That's
And
awesome.
then I snapped out of it again. I'm like, nope, I need to feel this. And I started bringing up these situations that were very detailed and very painful,
Right.
and in the most loving and stern way. Again, we're not going to continue something that you already know.
Damn.
And at that point, like, man, I it lasted all the way until like 7:30 in the morning. So
Yeah.
8:30 at night to 7:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
I did one night, man. One night. it wasn't calling me. It wasn't calling me. I wasn't scared to do a second night or third
Right,
night,
right.
but I just feel like I gathered and I got everything that I needed
You
that
were
first.
good.
And
Yep.
biggest takeaway is to be aware, to be aware of everything, to be aware of, you know what, you may be at a place of forgiveness, and you may be, that may be where you're at on your journey,
Right.
but that's not everybody's situation, right?
Exactly.
And you can't force forgiveness. You can't force
Exactly.
forgiveness. And the biggest thing, the biggest, the biggest part was I had to forgive myself.
Mm.
I had to forgive myself because that's who I'm in control of, right? I'm not saying forget everybody that you hurt, be aware
Right.
of it,
100%.
but it's time to forgive yourself and start healing with yourself. And after that, man, after that experience, did I say I was fixed? No, I'm not saying I was fixed,
Right.
but I am saying that
You were enlightened.
I yeah, I knew what to work on. I knew what
Yeah.
to work on, and I'm gonna continue to work on it. And ever since then, because before ayahuasca too, my relationship, I was grinding out hard. I was driving the Benz. I was rocking the gold chains. I still got the Benz, but the gold
Yeah.
chains I got rid of them because that's not me.
Right.
And I started doing it for the wrong reasons. I started to do it because oh they they think they thought they used to laugh at me. You know what I mean?
Right.
They
Yeah.
they
Let me
thought I would
show
never
them.
make it,
Check out my
and
Jesus piece.
the purity of my whys were just all wrong, man. So I had to I just
Man,
had to
love
remind
that.
myself why I was doing it. You know what I mean? And again, I kept the bins. I work really hard. You know what I mean? And if I have this bins and I'm looking at it, I don't care what it is. But if you're feeling like I'm looking at this and it's a reminder to work harder,
Yeah.
I'm with it,
Yeah.
dog.
Use
I
it.
am
Yeah.
with it.
Exactly. Yeah. Right. Right. Hell yeah,
So
man.
yeah, ayahuasca was a big thing, and then yeah, 2 months later. So another thing too is I got shot back in like I believe 2011, 12, and I
Okay.
was told I would never be able to have kids again.
Damn.
And that, so it hit my left hip, came out my, grazed my right testicle, went back into my inner thigh, and then came back out the other side.
Damn.
So for me, it fueled me with rage. My hurt, it was hurt. It started off as hurt, and I just let it out through rage, you know.
Mm.
And to be told, hey, you will never be able to have kids again, and feeling less of a man for
Right.
being in a situation like that, you know.
Damn.
um i I overcame that. I overcame that, and I forgave the guy that shot me, and I'm no longer holding on to things like that. Then I hit ayahuasca,
Yeah.
and 2 months later, well, in this last New Year's, I found out my girl's pregnant,
Bam, dude.
and we weren't
Congrats.
trying.
Wait, hold on.
We definitely were. Yeah, we definitely weren't trying,
Yeah.
but I just feel like everything played out how they were supposed to play out. And
Damn, dude. Good for you.
yeah,
Good for
it's
you.
cool, man. It's cool. My girl, she has a son, and to be a father to, I was always a step kid, so
Yeah.
to be shown love and affection as if like to a child that's not yours,
Right. It's not
but
your
you're
DNA.
around, and
Yeah.
to be able to love another man's child as your own is huge. And I think that at the end of the day, that blessing, whether it's God, the creator, the universe, anything
Right.
good, I don't care if you
Right.
pick up a rock and you believe that rock is
Yeah.
good,
Right.
and like whatever it is, if it's
Yeah.
good, it's good. Everything good, man. Like I'm all for it. But it was a blessing. It was a blessing that now I'm going to be a father, and I'm going to be able to do this all over again, and do it the right way because I'm a better man. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah,
So
dude. Hell yeah. Congrats, man. So
I
good. It's such a
appreciate
great
that.
feeling. I can feel the feeling from the screen. I can feel
Uh,
that feeling in your heart, dude. It's great.
there's just a lot, and you said 30 minutes, 35 minutes, 40 minutes, but bro, there's just so much, and it's like
Yeah.
I do want to share this with the world because I get messages all the time. Hey bro, I know you. I knew you when you were a mean guy,
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
you were full of hate, and to see you smile, and to see you engage in self-discovery, and just being a better person
Yeah.
without changing who you are,
Right.
that says a lot about your character. And so I just want to continue that, you know, even if it's to help the next guy, you know.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Because there's so many people that have gone through, certain parts of similar stories, and then also the emotion, right? Like it's very much emotion when we break it down in terms of what we're trying to feel. You know,
Yeah.
you and anybody else. And I think what you had mentioned too, when it's understanding where other people are, and then understanding that there's a an ability for us to be aware, to have that awareness, right? To like have the ability to understand that that person's not ready, or that this situation is probably not the right thing, or instead of either reacting or just seeing it as I yourself in that moment, and
Yeah.
forcing and or being upset because someone doesn't want to take your apology right at the moment. But it's like you don't know their perspective yet. You don't know what
Yeah.
they're dealing with until you actually communicate
And then
or pretend
traumas,
to.
what their traumas are, you
Exactly.
don't know. And a lot of the time, ain't nobody putting their traumas out there or even looking back
Right.
where you were at 5 years old to really understand why you move the way you move,
Exactly.
you know?
Exactly.
And the problem is, the biggest problem is I see is not just in me, but just a lot of people is we only know what we know.
Right.
And if
And
you're
that
closed minded and you're
right.
not looking to be better or get outside of your comfort zone, you're going to only continue to know what you know.
Yeah, and that's that awareness factor. It's like,
Yeah.
are we seeking it? Can we figure it out? Can we just reflect? Now, let me ask you a question then. Do you reflect? Do you have a morning routine? Are you working on a nighttime routine? Do you have a nighttime routine? What's that like in terms of prepping, like, your mental aptitude to get ready for a day in case things go, crazy or whatever, like do you have anything like that?
So okay, I was working out. I worked out a long time.
Right.
At 6 o'clock, I still get up in the morning, right? I'm up. I was going to the gym, but I switched up my gym routine just because I needed to switch it up just to feel something different, right?
Right.
But it's everything, man. It's everything. It's changing the toilet roll, the toilet paper on the toilet roll.
Right.
It's taking out the trash. It's I see that trash. I don't want to pick it up, but nah, I'm gonna do it tomorrow. It's just being in the moment and doing it right then and there when you say it. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't claim that I'm fixed. I'm a better person than I was yesterday, and I'm gonna
Yeah.
continue that. But it's the little things that turn into bigger problems.
Yeah, right. If
Bigger
you if you
problems.
if like you let him sort of keep him inside, and you're not either reflective on it and being able to figure out how do I move forward in the best like possible direction. That's good,
Yeah.
dude. All right, so let me ask you a question. So if there's something that you would want to say to like anybody that's either going through something or has gone through something in terms of what we talked about, what would what would you provide for them? Or even if you were talking to like your younger self, what's something that you would say to yourself?
Definitely be aware. Obviously, be aware. Big thing, big factor. Your ego. A lot of situations could be prevented if you were just to put your ego in check, and that's
Mm.
it. Do things for the right reasons. Biggest part is do things for the right reasons. I want to say,
Like your
don't
intention, right?
worry about where so and so is, or they got this, or they did this, so I'm gonna do this. I feel like I start my business, I start getting more clients when I'm like, I snap myself out of it. I'm like, nah, I'm here to help people.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm a good person. I
Yeah.
deserve this,
Yeah.
right? And not out of I'm gonna work harder because this guy did this.
Yeah.
You know what I
Gotta
mean?
go get this money or something. I gotta get this right, man. Because that stuff is just a result of it, right? I agree
Yeah,
with you. I feel the same way. The more you turn
yeah,
it into like, well, I feel good about giving what I can do for this person, the like the reverse of that cyclical like energy that you get back.
yeah.
Very good, man. So cool.
And you're gonna get the energy that you put into whatever.
Yeah.
This is the thing, guys. Is my first year? I made some good money doing what I do. I don't want to throw numbers out there, but I better than what I
Yeah,
used to be
you're
doing.
crushing it. Right, right.
Um, find your. I don't know where I was going with that, but
No, no, well, yeah, it's what find
no,
what
just find what's working. Find what brings you happiness. Find what makes you feel good inside. That's it.
That's it, bro. Very
That's
simply,
it.
find whatever makes you feel good. Exactly. And that's why we do this, man. That's why I like in my case, this is why I do this. Because I love hearing the stories and seeing the feeling, bro. Like seeing your feeling, like seeing your face, how you feel. Like that makes me feel good that you're doing something like that. So yeah, I would say I would agree with you. Find something that you're passionate about that helps whatever it is, even if it's painting or walking or whatever the hell you want it to be. It's just something that makes you feel good about other people feeling good in their situation. And I think ultimately, if you look at anybody that does anything outside of like the people that are only about the dollar, you'll see that how awesome that impact is, you know?
Yeah. And I was going to say this, now I remember what I was going to say is, if you take the energy you're putting in to being that active gang member, that scary guy, that hate that you bring into the universe, if you take that energy and you put it into something good, good is going to come from it. And that's also another thing that like really clicked for me. I'm like, you know what? I was putting the exact same amount of energy into gangbanging, prison, selling dope, this, that, the other, and I got everything that I was supposed to get when you're putting out the negativity. You know what I mean? I got that. Now, look, I could have did nails. I could have been a nail tech, and
Right.
the amount of energy that I'm putting into this, I'm still going to be a millionaire.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
know what I
Blessed
mean?
as fuck, right? Financially and mentally, emotionally and
Yeah.
physically. Yeah. All right. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna get back. We're gonna do one more. We'll do another part to this. But
All right.
thanks for everybody. Thanks for everybody tuning in, dude. Victor, you're the man. Real time results. I appreciate you so much. You heard it from beginning to end, right? Gang member, prison, and now just a business owner crushing it both mentally, physically, emotionally on all ends. So tune in for the next one, guys. And don't forget, nothing changes until you do. So we'll see you guys on the next one. All right. Peace. All right. Let me see. All right.